Anybody else going live?
I'm live.
Oh, we should be good.
We live.
Okay, Con. Shalom. We're the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. All right, the would-be judges, the scattered elect. All right, the would-be judges, the 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. Right, and to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say shalom, and this is going to be a response to a response that the beloved brothers ICR and Gabar Howard did earlier. I was watching it live. I didn't catch the whole thing. I caught most of it.
A good show.
And it really angered me.
Yes.
With this Matt Walsh and his blatant racist rant that was done by the assistant president, who no one elected, who's controlling policy right now. He was on Elon Musk, that weirdo's platform, and basically he said that the natives were they were savages, that they had been here for 20 years. They were primitive. 20,000 years. They had done nothing with the land. That they were sacrificing each other. That they were raping the colonists. You know, the settlers as they were coming. They were murdering, raping, and eating the settlers. So basically, all he did was did a whole bunch of projection. He projected and he twisted it and said, so he is in no way apologizing for colonization, and all this was said to justify rape, rob, murdery, and land theft.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which Matt Walsh is, and his constituents. That's what they are. They're murderers and land thieves trying to justify their heinous crimes against humanity. Just like now, you know we're at the fall of Esau, Edom. I'd like to actually play something for you, brothers, just to set the tone. And this is what the world court is saying about the Israelis right now in the land of Israel. So I'm gonna so here we go. It's a 2-minute video, so I'm gonna play it for you, brothers.
A watershed moment for Palestine, for justice and for international law. Israel's occupation has been declared unlawful by the World Court, which has stipulated that it must be terminated completely and as rapidly as possible. The court also found that illegal Israeli occupation violates the UN Charter, human rights, and international humanitarian law. The court further unequivocally declared that all Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory are illegal and must be dismantled, and that all Israeli settlers must be evacuated. The court declared that Israeli illegal occupation not only violates but eviscerates the Palestinian people's right to self-determination in their own land, including the right to their own state. This ruling couldn't be more timely or solely needed. The Palestinian people have endured unbearable suffering and injustice for decades. This ruling is a vindication of their steadfastness and perseverance. This right must no longer be denied or deferred. The court made clear that the Palestinian people are the only sovereign in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, and that the international community is under an obligation not just to reaffirm the Palestinian people's right to self-determination, but to see to it that this right is implemented immediately. All states and the UN are now under obligation not to recognize the legality of Israel's presence in the occupied Palestinian territory.
Now, mind you, the United States is no longer part of the UN Charter. So the European Union and UN Charter is saying that the Israelis no longer have sovereignty, and they're saying that the Israelis need to leave Palestine immediately. All the settlements are illegally. They have no settlements. You got to understand, this is a great day, all right? Because that's a house completely and totally divided. Now, grant you, the Palestinians don't belong there either. That's not their land. That's our land.
That's right.
Right? But it's a beautiful thing to see that the world community is coming up against these tyrants, against these wicked ass people, man. These deniers, because the truth of the matter is that the Israelis was the last colonization of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That was his last colonial movement. All right, where he would where he can bring. He would bring in the tyrannical rule over the people that's already living in the land and take all the resources and the wealth. All right, and that's what he did. And it's the same thing that he did to Gad. All right. So could somebody get Jeremiah 50 and 33?
Got it.
Because the thing is that when Gad and Reuben were being oppressed, Judah was being oppressed at the same time.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, history even shows you, AI even tells you that they were, matter of fact, somebody can look it up. AI even tells you that the Gadites, the natives, were taken into slavery and sent to the to Europe and to the islands. And they were often taken on the same ships as the Negroes. It was called the triangular slave trade, per example. Today, when you have, when the trucking industry was vibrant, when it wasn't failing, all right, but a truck usually drove cross country, delivered a load. All right. Now a trucking company didn't waste the money on just letting that truck drive back across country back to his main hub empty. They would bring another load. They would do a triangular thing. They would go to a destination, drop off a load, go to another destination, drop off a load, pick up a load, and then bring that load back to somewhere near where their hub is.
Exactly.
Makes sense. The slave ships did the same thing.
Right.
All right. The slave ships would pick up slaves, whether they were bringing them from West Africa, they would drop them off in the islands, or they would bring them to the America. Pick up. And usually, what they did was they would go to the Americas, and then they would pick up natives, or from the islands and pick up natives, and then bring them back to Europe. As a matter of fact, Seville, Spain, became the reverse slave capital of the world, because from Seville, Spain, Israelites from the islands, Israelites from America were taken to Seville, Spain, and from Seville, Spain, they were dispersed all across Europe and the so-called Middle East, which is Western Asia.
I saved the quotes, but I pulled up the quotes from Columbus. But before we even get to that, to the point you touched, the first slaves went to Spain, like you just said. This is the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History. All right, and this is Christopher Columbus's letter to Ferdinand and Isabella, 1493. Okay, for nearly 5 months, Columbus explored the Caribbean, particularly the islands of Juana, which is Cuba, and Hispaniola, Santo Domingo, before returning to Spain. He left 39 men to build a settlement called La Navidad in present-day Haiti. Remember, he only left 39 men to build this. This is going to be important to what this video is going to say, right? He left 39 men to build. He also kidnapped several Native Americans, they say between 10 to 25, to take back to Spain. Only 8 survived. Columbus brought back small amounts of gold as well as native birds and plants to show the richness of the continent. All right. So right off the rip, the first thing Columbus did was take people back to Spain. So the slave trade started back then. All right. Wasn't what they say 1619.
Right.
Northern Kingdom first, Judah worse. It started with Columbus. And then only got worse than that. All right. Then more slaughter came, more XYZ. All right.
Right, yeah, because they was taking the Northern Kingdom and selling them to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, the Northern Kingdom. You know, the Northern Kingdom.
They showed you that in the
Yeah.
Bozier series.
Selling them.
Okay,
They
so
was
in
giving
that
them.
movie,
They was
the
giving them.
the
Yeah, they was
Boziers?
giving them.
All right.
Gifts.
Yeah, quote that source you about to.
okay, so this is Indian Slave by Almond Willa Lauber.
Wait, say it again, slower, brother.
Almond, spelled A-L-L.
Matter of fact, could you bring it in front of the camera?
Yes,
And
sir.
bring it in front of the elders' camera as well,
Yes.
just so the people can see the source.
There you go, right here. Sit right here. All right, so I'm going to go to page 56 until the jump down here. It says, in the same year, it's talking about the Pequot Nation, King Philip War, happened in 1675. All right, it says right here, it said in the same year, 1675, Indians probably from the coast of Maine were landed as slaves at Fayal, one of the Azores. Again, Azores over there by over there off the coast of northwest Africa in Spain. All right, way out there. 15 Indians were captured and sent to Boston, tied neck to neck like the galley slaves, much against the will of the populace. They were given a trial. All were finally quit except for 2. All right, I'm gonna go down here. Let's get down here. 57 said, with the close of the war after Philip's death, many of the Indian chiefs were executed at Boston, Plymouth. Most remaining chiefs and their captive father was sold and shipped off as slaves outside the colonies. Those transported were carried to various parts: the Spanish West Indies, Spain, Portugal, Bermuda, Virginia, and Azores. Not all Indian lives were spared with transport. During the men, rather than women and children, were thus disposed of. Though such not always the case, one found instance that, like Philip's wife and son, when the women and children were transported, other instances when grown male Indians were retained in colonies sold to the colonies. Not only were the Indians who themselves engaged in war sold as slaves at home abroad, but the wives and children of the captive men were seized and co-signed as slavery.
Yeah. Hey, the movie Pocahontas. That's not a movie.
Right.
That really happened, and it wasn't no nice shit.
No.
Her husband was murdered, and she was taken back to Europe. Just like we read about Columbus taking them off the
Her
island.
murder and her husband was murdered and her son. And she was taken captive and forced. John Smith, it wasn't some romance
Right.
between her and John Smith where he just wooed her and she went around the forest singing, songs of love. And, she was forced. Her husband and her child was murdered, and she was forced to be a sex slave to John Smith and taken back to Europe where she died. That was the true story of
Human
Pocahontas.
trafficking.
She was trafficked
Hey, this,
she was trafficked, might I add, by Elon Musk's people, by Matt Walsh's people, by the same murderous, racist colonizers that he tried to justify, and when he said all those lies on X, when he was on, whatever that show was, that platform that he was on.
Yep. This Revelation 18 and 10, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour was thy judgment come. So this place will be destroyed. So, but let's keep going, right? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and of fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all dying wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble. These are all things, nowadays they're imported to America. But world trade got big based off of what? Slavery in America, right?
Free world trade.
And cinnamon, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour.
Now wait a minute.
Let's go with Joel chapter 3.
All that was going on, what you're reading about, then that's clearly that these people were not ignorant, that these people had a language, that they had businesses, that they had a structure, a government structure, in order for all this to be happening.
Yeah.
And what Matt Walsh said was that these people they had no speaking language, and they had no written language and all. And like Arala said earlier, before we went live, the Batcree stones disproved that. The Hebrew was found all over America from. As a matter of fact,
Right.
Walsh is a Jewish name, so we already know where he stands.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But from from
Last
Canada to Brazil, man.
Mm-hmm.
But go continue, Papa Shah.
I got something too. Evan. Go ahead.
And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So this has been a big part of the world trade for the longest, slavery.
Yes.
All right. In fact, that was the biggest part
Because
because
souls of men.
that was the biggest part of it.
Yep.
All right. Not only did you get slaves and you sold them, that's his market itself, but also you got free and cheap labor.
Yep.
All right, which then help you get and produce all these other things. Now, of course, this is going to the import, but the point is, human trafficking has been a big part of this white man's legacy, even to this day. Human trafficking is big business even to this day.
Yes,
In
sir.
all these
Yeah.
countries, the Chinese, Russia, they still send. They get sent over here, and of course, they get sent over there.
They make movies about it. You know, that movie. Then they have matter of fact, Taken is 3 series deep now, right?
I think.
I think it's
Yeah,
on
I
the fourth
think
now. Or I
It's
think
a
maybe-
fourth one?
It's these three for sure.
It's 3 series deep, man. So that's some real shit, man.
Hostel. You ever saw the movie Hostel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
I
showed
saw
how
one of them.
it showed how it was on that side of the world, and then they did it on this side of the world as well. You know, they kidnap you. You can be sold just so the motherfucker get their rocks off to murder you.
Yes.
Hey,
Shit is wild, man.
another
Souls of men.
another thing, you know, just mention it how the people in them docks, a lot of times they find a lot of children being in those containers.
Yeah, they be fucked
And
up.
if you can, it'd be some videos, and the guy be saying like, man, we can't say nothing about it, you know, because they get fucked up if they mention the kids on the screams that's coming from the train cars.
Let us out. And,
Yeah.
Ayúdame.
And that's-
Ayúdame. They saying in Spanish, help me, help me.
Right, and another thing about the when they did that strike, they want to they like, look, we keeping your secrets, nigga. We know what's going on and it was going on these docks. They like, man, we want some of that money too. So because they keeping their mouth closed, you know. So a lot of that
So
shit,
fuck them.
yeah, they
Right.
pretty much full of
If
shit. You know what I mean?
If I see some shit like that, fuck it, I'm telling on everybody.
Yeah.
I guess.
I get some too. This an article. You got a scripture? Cause
Yeah, let 'em read that scripture out.
yeah. That's why I was like,
They
yeah,
have our people.
shit.
Joel chapter 3 verse, and it's still going on today. Joel chapter 3 verse 4.
Oh.
No, verse 3. It says, and they had cast lots my people, and had given a boy for wine, and sold a girl for wine. They didn't like drink. Told me they trade. You know, trading for food, wine, everything.
Go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Good, but right,
Yeah.
which I'm mad about. You know, I'm so mad about that because I used that's the second time I used that movie, and they try to hit me with some with some.
That shit's still
Skin
on
shit,
YouTube.
right.
Yeah.
You know, the movie is still on YouTube. Basically, they said that child endangerment or child, the P word.
But you got that YouTube
because there
yeah,
was
yeah.
an image from the screenshots, of a Edomite male holding a naked baby. But like I said, but you got breastfeeding videos that is just not instructional, just women straight up pushing out sexual shit and all kind of other shit, on the YouTube. All right, when a woman is doing a sensual video, of her breastfeeding a baby, but then her other breast is all in the camera, ain't no baby on it.
She got makeup and everything.
Yeah,
though,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So she basically what she's doing is sexualizing herself and that child. But yet a video that's speaking about slavery and the things that went on with it, they offended at that. So and I just find that so ridiculous though. I just have to mention it because Lord's will I'm gonna do a video on it tomorrow. He said it and it made me think about it. I'm still mad about it. And I'm gonna use the images from my video and things that are already on the YouTube that's not offensive to them for
Right.
whatever reason, but because my video contained images that are less offensive than those, and it's speaking on their history, they got a problem with it.
And ain't that on YouTube?
And it's on fucking
It's
YouTube.
on fucking YouTube.
Like I said, then the Google images, YouTube owns Google. Google, what? They're the same
Have or-
fucking
right,
entity.
same company. Right.
So how you gonna strike me for what you put up for me to be able to even research?
Because a lot
I
of
use your research and now you strike me for using it.
a lot.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any fucking sense, man.
Exactly.
cause we exposing it. Cause a lot of Jake, right? Cause a lot of Jake don't know that movie is up there. A lot of Jake don't even know that movie exists.
And that movie is very vexing to watch.
I can never get through it.
I
watched it. I've watched it twice over the last 17 years.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
It's hard to.
As a matter of fact, it's hard for me to go even just watch the video that Matt Walsh talking, because if I can't put my hands through to shut his mouth and to
he was very proud in the lies and the racist rant that he went on, and being proud of the rape, robbery, and murder that his people did.
So nonchalant.
And right. And then all the lie. Basically, these primitive ass niggas, these primitive tree niggas over here in America, they needed us to come in and rape, rob, murder them, and make their place better. God. Meanwhile, the Gadites and the Reubenites are still on fucking reservations, living in modern day with no running water. And then you got dumbass people say, well, they got the casinos. No, nigga, white people got the casinos. The real Gadites ain't getting money from them.
$5 Indians.
Right, them $5 Indians on that list are getting the money from those casinos, and those are so-called white people. All right. But go ahead, brother. Finish what you were reading.
No, I'll finish.
And I got a couple. You had an article.
You had a couple scriptures or articles.
I article.
Because we all got an article. I'm sitting on a couple.
God.
But bring yours out, brother, and then where the scriptures come from it.
So I had to go to DuckDuckGo to find this, because when you go to the information, because they say that the first Negro slaves came from West Africa, but that's not true. They came from Spain.
They came from Spain.
And the Ivory Coast. You know what I'm saying? So it says, did slavery start in Spain? It said, did slavery start in Spain? Yes, slavery did start in Spain. The history of Spanish.
But usually AI will tell you if you question it.
But I asked it, you got to ask a certain way. Yeah.
Like going back to the movie I, Robot, and the whole thing about him trying to find out who killed him.
You had to ask a certain.
He said you have to ask. He had asked Google basically. And this is before Google. That was how Esau was projecting. You have to ask the question the right way.
Right.
If you don't, he was going to say no. And the same thing when you go on Google. If you go on Google and ask a particular question, they will send your ass to fuck off. But if you ask it the right way, they'll give you exactly what you're looking for.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
It said yes. Slavery did start in Spain, which is talking about the Negro part of it. The history of Spanish enslavement.
So what he just read proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Negroes were ruling in Spain and Portugal.
Yep.
But that's glossed over when it comes to Western history, right? Because now you gotta explain that. And so proving when we say, we was kings and shit, motherfuckers, we were. Matt Walsh, you piece of shit. I pray to the Lord. Let me get my hands on him when that time comes. Because hey, look, when the Israelites come down off of them chariots, man, when we come down off of them chariots, it's gonna be Edomites in the other parts of the world that are still gonna be intact, and they're gonna try to they're gonna try to mount their militaries and they militias to try to fight against them.
To no avail.
And we look forward to it, all right? Because we're gonna want to test out them new bodies, them new superior Hancock fucking bodies anyway. Now, unlike Hancock, we're not gonna get weak when we get around each other.
Right. So as our powers get together, now it neutralizes.
You supposed to get strong. That's when you get strong and shit.
My brother, and all of a sudden we both vulnerable, getting our ass beat.
God.
Now we together. It's even worse for you.
It says the enslavement of Africans began in the 15th century with Portuguese captain Anteo.
Okay, so let's correct that right away. The Portuguese and the Spanish Negroes that were there were not fucking Africans, you lying pieces of shit. They were Israelites. The different race from the Hamitic Africans, the actual Africans who are Hamites. The Israelites, there were refugees in Africa from Jerusalem. And I've even heard the AI speak on that. But go ahead.
It says Anteo Goncalves and Nuno Tristeo captured Africans in 1441. Spain began to trade slaves in the 15th century. As this trade reached its peak in the 16th century, Spanish colonists started importing enslaved Israelites.
And how is that? While you read that, let me expound on some history. In the book From Babylon to Timbuktu,
it clearly tells you
on
right
page
there.
84, it tells you that when the Israelites were fleeing the Roman persecution, when they were fleeing the Roman persecution of Titus and Vespasian,
Millions.
all right, in the millions, that they fled into West Africa, but they also went into Europe and into Asia.
Yeah.
So basically, and Rome fell a couple hundred years later, and the Israelites were ruling in those places. And when we say that, this historical evidence that he's reading is evidence that what we're speaking is true.
Yeah.
Right? Because now he's talking about the Negroes that were ruling in Spain and Portugal. How did they get to that position? Well, I just explained it to you. When the Israelites scattered, all right? Go ahead.
It says Spanish colonists started importing enslaved Israelites from the Iberian Peninsula to their Santo Domingo colony
Now,
in
Iberian Peninsula, it makes up of Ireland and Scotland. That's the Iberian Peninsula.
So how's it African for one?
So they're not fucking Africans. All right. Once again, Matt Walsh, you are not the Brits, you are not the Scots, you are not the Irish, you are not the fucking Vikings. You lying pieces of shit.
Right.
And
That's what the so-called white man is. He is a lying pieces of shit who projects his own murder, his own racism, all right, on his victims, so that he's justified in doing the wickedness that he does.
And
Salakia, go ahead.
Salakia,
It said-
that's Salakia, brother. The word Iberia it's the same word as
It's
Iberia.
Ibar.
Yep.
Goes back to the same
Yep,
as
yep.
Ibar from the past. The Iberian Peninsula was basically, you can just say nigger peninsula.
Right.
It was black peninsula.
Yeah, matter
you
of
go
fact-
to Igbo. The reason why they go in Nigeria, they even admit. When you go back to the teachers, they'll say when they first came and so-called discovered the Igbo.
When they used to
they'll
write
say-
Igbo, they
yes.
wrote it with an H.
And it was it's
so it
Hebrew.
was
They were
like
saying
Igbo,
Hebrew.
so it was
Igbo.
Hebrew.
They were saying Igbo and in Igbo, Ibar, Ibo, all that goes back to Ibar, which
goes
is
back
from the
to
past,
Hebrew.
which is Hebrew.
As a matter of fact, in that ancient now, you stay with that article you was reading
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Bapka shop. King James, when he came on the scene, King James united Britain, Ireland, and Scotland, the Iberian Peninsula coast, and France. All right, he was the king of them all because all what he did was he stopped Jake from gang banging on each other.
Yes.
Yep.
The same shit that Gad and Reuben
Yep.
were doing to one another.
Yep.
Well, mostly Gad here in the Americas.
Yep.
With the sacrificing of each other and killing each other and fighting each
And
other.
trying to dominate. Yeah.
They were gang banging on each other. And Esau's gang banging too. All right, they don't really profile the white gangs, but there are lots of white gangs, not just in the prisons, but on the streets too. All right, and but yeah, they were gang banging, and King James put an end to that. Right, by letting uniting those countries and look, dummies. He was like, we all the same people, you stupid asses. Stop killing each other.
God.
All right, but go ahead.
It said colonists started importing enslaved Israelites from the Iberian Peninsula to their Santo Domingo colony in 1501.
Santo Domingo. And
It's
also, when you learn about the history of Oliver Cromwell and his brother, they were charged with the duty of removing all the Negroes from Scotland and Ireland in the 1600s, and then they sent most of them to the islands, to Jamaica and the island of Montserrat.
Yep.
That's why in Jamaica, so many streets have Scottish and Irish names.
That's right. And,
All right,
and,
and the people in Montserrat speak with an Irish dialect to this fucking day.
God.
and
Right.
now you mentioned that.
I even said fucking like a damn Irish.
Exactly.
Go
And,
ahead.
and the funny part is that the islands from all that you just mentioned, from Trinidad to St. Lucia and all of them, majority of them send Jake over to London and Europe. And if you look at the Jake that's over in
Yeah.
London, Europe, most of their roots
coming
go
from
back,
they
go
coming
back
from
to Jamaica, go back
Montserrat,
to Montserrat,
Trinidad,
St. Lucia, and
yeah.
all of that. And they have, and when I was over in Jamaica, when I was in London, living in London, that was almost patois
Jamaicans go
that
back
they
to
speak
live,
to.
yeah.
It's that Jamaican patois. It's that same vibration. You can understand them. It's
A lot of
it's-
Benjamites. It's a lot of, and that's mostly the tribe of Benjamin.
Yep.
Mostly Benjamites,
Mostly.
and they all throughout those islands.
y'all
And it's a
play
lot,
that.
and it's a lot of them over in London as well. But continue, brother.
Con. It says and in Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Dutch traders systematically purchased large number of Israelites.
That's where we get the word Moreno from.
Right.
When you look, as a matter of fact, somebody look at it in the etymology online. The word Moreno in the etymology dictionary is going to tell you that it is a Jew, or a converso Jew or Christian from Portugal, Spain during the time of the 1500s.
And
Yeah.
it's
All right.
funny because you go to Belize, it's also from the same said Jamaican island.
Which is the only English-speaking place in all of South America, by the way.
And,
Belize.
Yeah.
and Belize, majority of the Belizeans speak Spanish.
They speak Spanish
Right.
too, but they
Yeah.
speak English.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah.
it was called British Honduras. They
Yeah.
speak a lot.
Yeah.
They speak English.
And so they're just letting you know that the commonality to going back to their roots. And I had one of my best friends back in LA when I was growing up and going to school out there. He was from Belize, straight nigga, and he was just fluent in Spanish. Like it just wooed me because it's like, he said, I'm from Belize. I was like, God damn, and he gave me the
Right.
breakdown.
Tamales good.
It's right. It said, and Dutch traders systematically purchased large number of Israelite people. If it's, I'm not gonna say African. It's an Israelite people to be enslaved in the American colonies, beginning in the 16th century. So the Israelites, the Southern Kingdom, was already being enslaved in the 15th century in Portugal, Spain. That's where it started at.
Right.
And then it moved to the western coast of Africa. The whole deal was
No,
them
then it went
transporting to the Americas.
to the islands,
right.
to the Americas, and then
And
to
then
the West Coast.
come.
Can we get Luke 12 and 2 real
Right,
quick?
with the northern
And I want to
kingdom.
read this one. Get that Luke 12 and 2, Bible shot.
We take the video yet?
No, it's in the orders, bro.
Okay.
The video of Walsh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come. It's in the orders.
I haven't. Yeah, we can.
Mouth
It's in the orders room.
Yeah, we can put it in there and find the spot. Somebody
This is the book of Luke.
Okay.
who got Luke 12 and 2,
I
Bible
got
shot.
it.
Okay.
This is Luke 12 and 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Okay, this is from a Google search engine. Native American slavery is a piece of history of slavery that has been glossed over.
Mm-hmm.
Fisher said between 1492 and 1880, between 2 and 5.5 million Native Americans were enslaved in the Americas, in addition to 12.5 African slaves. So, and they know that they weren't fucking Africans, they were Israelites, and so were the natives, they were Israelites. These are the Israelite people, man, and hold that thought, brother, hold it. I don't want you to forget it.
Come.
But in 1682, in Virginia, a year after the so-called white man labeled himself white, all right, he labeled the natives and the Negroes and the African slaves Negroes, one people. A lot of Native Americans were reclassified as Negroes, all right, because they were one people. They were declared to be one people because they fucking were. And Esau Edom, Matt Walsh's piece of shit ass,
right.
his people, man, he pissed me the fuck off.
Man, I was so mad. Brother.
Yeah, because, it just made me want to smack him, not like this, but like this.
Damn,
all right.
backhand? That hurt.
Man, twice. Pow, pow.
with the rings on.
Right? No, I got a lot of rings. I only
I'm not
got one
talking
on
about
now.
I'm not talking about them type of rings. I'm talking about rings, the rings for smacking.
But nevertheless, man,
Shit.
he was a lying piece of shit projecting that Edomite racism of what he did
Yes.
onto the victims. Just like the Israelis are the victim villains. They're really villains, always playing the fucking victim
They were
with
primitive,
this,
so
with
we
the
needed to-
anti-Semitic bullshit. All right. Well, let me go into the article. Salaki.
Yeah.
It says colonial enslavement of Native Americans included those who surrendered too. The study at Brown University's historians finds that the Native Americans who surrendered during the King Philip's War were sold into slavery with long-lasting effects. An image from 1595 depicting the conflict between Native Americans in Mexico and Spanish colonists led to Francisco's Montego, courtesy of John Carter Brown Library at the Brown University. Providence, Rhode Island, Providence RI, Brown University, a study by Linford D. Fisher, Associate Professor of History at Brown University, finds that Native Americans, including non-combatants who surrendered during King Philip's War to avoid enslavement, were enslaved at nearly the same rate as the captured combatants. There is no negotiating with this Edomite, man. And then this is where it said Native American slavery is a piece of history it's a piece of history of slavery that has been glossed over. All right, so for you BIs out there, you black onlys, the Native Americans were enslaved with Negroes,
Come on, brother.
fulfilling the scripture. Did we read Deuteronomy 50 and 33?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Honestly, no, we didn't read it yet.
Could you read it, Bob Kishop, real quick?
This Jeremiah chapter 50. And yeah, we can get straight to the 33. Man. I'm gonna start at 31, Elder Malcolm.
Go ahead,
This
brother.
Jeremiah 50:31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. I'm not gonna apologize.
That's Matt Walsh. Go ahead, brother.
That's the spirit. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not apologizing for colonization.
Actually, I'm kind of happy, but I'm kind of proud of it. He said he was proud of the fact of where the fuck it came from.
It was a great establishment for you. And a great, what did he say? What is the verbiage that he used? Accomplishment.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
To go take
To
care
travel the ocean, to have to travel land, all this water. It's
And he don't understand that it's prophecy.
Exactly.
That the Lord brought Esau, Edom over here to be a whooping stick to the disobedient Israelites. But what he didn't, acknowledge the fact that manifest destiny has a part fucking too.
Yes,
And
right.
part two is that the shit get reversed on you, man. Right? You
Right.
gotta pay for what you did.
Rewind and bring it back.
Right? But go ahead, brother.
Yep. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him.
Right, because Judah gonna get raised up, and in videos like this is gonna help them. That's why they hate us and try to delete and demonize us simply for speaking the truth. Man.
That's right.
And we should be fucking mad. How could you? The scriptures clearly say in the Holy Bible, right? Maybe not in the Quran, maybe not in the fucking Talmud, the Talmud. But in the Bible, it tells you that wisdom make up a wise man mad. You can't learn this history and not be angry.
That's right.
You can't.
And then Esau will push the narrative. Oh no,
You're
supposed to-
hateful.
and you should forgive.
You should be angry.
You should forgive and let go.
You shouldn't be angry.
You know what I'm saying?
No, then let go of all the land.
Right.
Let go of all the bank accounts.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
You let go. And until you're ready to do it, shut the fuck up.
That's right.
Read, brother.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, which would be your natives and your Latins, and the children of Judah, which would be Judah, so-called Negroes, and like your islanders like Jamaicans, Haitians, all right? The southern kingdom, were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. So this lets you know that the oppression that we shared will be captivity. And we will go through this together. So that's why it's called a triangular slave trade. It was taking the northern kingdom first, starting with Columbus. Then they started bringing us over. They supplanted Jake in Spain, Portugal, started bringing them over here, taking over the damn throne, shipping natives back. All right, then they start getting us off the west coast of Africa, man.
Yeah, so all those beautiful buildings that you like to go take pictures of when you were in Portugal and Spain, those were built by what you call niggers.
That's right. And
They
the
weren't,
castles.
they weren't built by fucking white men.
That's right.
All right, a so-called white man.
Yeah, the
That's
word more
Right.
means black.
Those buildings and all those places in Florence that are so beautiful were built by so-called Negroes.
That's right.
All right,
And if I made the
that's real history. Matt Walsh,
that's right, bro.
fucking Elon Musk, you piece of shit.
That's
Hey,
right.
that's
Assistant president,
That's the,
the non-unelected assistant president of Babylon. But go ahead,
that's
brother.
a great point. Now, when you said Florence, Shapaya said something in jest, but he was serious. He said Florence and Normandy. It's the movie with Martin called The Black Knight.
Yep.
And he went back in time.
Yeah.
Now he was saying Florence and Normandy because California. Because that's where he was from. And back in time, he said Florence. They thought, oh, Florence and Normandy? Like, you from here.
Right.
And they kept calling him the Moor. They kept saying the Moor, the Moor, the Moor.
Yeah.
And then Martin's like, soon I'm finna start getting offended at this word more. But he was simply calling him black.
Yes.
Just like nigger just means black.
That's how. Soon I'm gonna get offended at it. That's
That
what
definition
niggas do.
of
Same
nigger,
shit.
The definition of nigger, it tells you in the definition in the Winston Simplified Dictionary encyclopedic edition with biblical references. It tells you that the definition of nigger simply that it is now is a contentious term. that it wasn't a contentious term once upon a time. All right, it became a contentious term during the time of slavery.
Yeah.
All right, but prior to that, it was just a description. It wasn't a negative. It didn't have any negative connotation to it.
Pause.
It was simply a description. All right, now it's a very negative connotation to it because people don't know the history behind it.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So and it tells you that now a contemptuous term because of slavery. All right, but it simply was if you would describe it as the nigger, it was just simply meant the Moor,
Yeah,
the dark
the
skinned
dark
person,
skin.
the brown skinned person,
You got Italian.
which were highly favored and sought after in the ancient world. By the way, all right.
Yeah, that's why melanin still costs its weight in gold, man.
Exactly.
Melanin
Right.
is expensive. It's more expensive than gold.
Yeah, more,
And you-
more than its weight in gold.
It's
Right.
more than gold,
You
man.
dumb niggas in California, Issachar, so-called Mexicans, and Judah, so-called black, your dumb ass killing each other and selling your own damn melon and shit, man.
Huh.
What do you think they do with all your babies when
Right.
when you
Boredom.
sluts that keep getting pregnant by different dudes go murder them babies? Whether you brown or so-called black, what do you think they're doing with they're taking your babies and they're using that melanin. They're using all the murdered Israelites. All right, exactly.
I got
Esau he let no crisis go to waste,
Yep.
including you slutty women that keep murdering your children. You keep having lying with all these different men, all right, and then running and then getting mad and crying when someone tries to take their right away from you.
you got to explain it. I mean, I got something that's not a scripture, it's more info, so you
All
got it,
right,
brother.
just
Well,
going.
let me finish this
sorry,
part.
sorry,
About
sorry.
I was still reading.
I forgot.
It says Native American slavery is a piece of history, all right, that has been glossed over. Fisher said between 1492 and 1880, between 2 and 5.5 million natives were enslaved in the Americas, in addition to 12.5 million Israelite slaves. While natives had been forced into slavery and servitude as early as 1636, it was not until the King Philip's War that the natives were enslaved in large numbers. Fisher wrote in the study in 1675 to 1676. War pitted Native American leader King Philip, also known as Metacom, and his allies against the English colonial settlers. So there were wars fought among Esau Edom over who would get these native slaves.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Why are we not taught this? All right? And these natives were speaking Hebrew.
That's right.
All right? And they were reading and writing and speaking in Hebrew, and the evidence is, as a matter of fact, the Smithsonian Museum tried to cover that up, and they deemed that any articles of history prior to 1783 would not be put out.
That shit terrible.
And so
That shit crazy.
and so what was included in that was all the stuff that was put in the basement with the evidence of the Hebrew speaking and the Hebrew writing of the Native Americans, that liars like Matt Walsh, who your assistant president Elon Musk supports, all right, will push the lie that these people had no language, no government, and no stability, and that's a fucking lie.
Well,
They had intricate cities, intricate
Metropolitan
metropolitan areas with government, laws, and everything. All right.
well, since you said that, that's a spirit. So, I typed in the question on Google, so y'all can answer it. Did Moors trade with natives? Was my question, which you already know the answer to. And y'all said the same thing. Yes. Historical accounts suggest that Moors, particularly those in the Iberian Peninsula
Damn.
and North Africa, did engage in trade with indigenous populations, including Native Americans.
Wow.
And there are some similarities between their cultures. They already, because we're the same people,
What?
right?
We're saying that there's similarities between the Moors culture and the Native American culture.
That's right.
I wonder what that is. The law, statutes, and commandments, you lying pieces of shit.
Yep.
Message.
You some racist ass, red ass Edomites that call yourselves white.
Yep.
All right, and you're being exposed, Matt Walsh. All right? And I pray that you see this video.
So they had to have languages to do trade with the Moors of the Iberian Peninsula and North Africa.
Exactly. They was just ooking and booking, as the elder would say.
Or sign language.
Ooking and booking and figuring out what the fuck that okay. Oh, I see.
This is what you saying.
You want
Okay.
this gold for that, for these oils in it. Okay. They're just ooking and booking and shit. All right? Fuck out of here, you lying pieces of shit.
Some historical accounts, like those from the Moorish times, suggest that Moorish traditions and practices, including clothing, weaving, and even hammocks, were present among Native Americans in the Americas. And it says Columbus's observations. Christopher Columbus and his son Fernando noted similarities between woven cotton towels and clothing of Native Americans and those used in West Africa and by Moors.
Proving everything we just said. The slave in Rudolph R. Windsor's book on page 84, it said that the slave markets were full of black Israelite slaves.
Yeah.
And that over 1 million of them fled into West Africa. All right? And so read that part again, Bob Kushar.
Christopher Columbus and his son Fernando noted similarities between woven cotton towels and clothing of Native Americans and those used in West Africa and by Muslim Moors.
So, hey, look, the so-called white man glossed over this truth. Or basically, what he did was he just hid it. Did somebody get the council, in Psalms 83, and then Benji, you can finish that. Somebody get that Psalms 83, Bob Kushar, real quick, because there was a collective effort by the heathen nations to hide our culture and hide the truth. All right.
This is Psalms 83rd chapter, starting at the top. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So let you know that there's enemies. The Most High, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, has enemies. Everybody thinks God is love and God is just so cool with everything on the planet. The Lord says that He has enemies.
Mm-hmm. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
And that also denotes that there's a hidden people that nobody has. If something is hid, you don't know.
Yeah, it's the Isaiah 11, the outcasts of Israel that didn't know they were Israelites.
And the Lord
Why?
says there is someone hidden that He calls His children, and they're hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So like if then your house has said he come for the lost sheep
Keyword.
of the house of Israel.
And if you're lost, how you know your way home?
Message.
How you know who
is
you
hidden.
are?
Right. And
How you know anything?
And that proves who Paul, the Gentiles, were Israelites, because they was lost Israelites in Greco-Roman culture.
Khan. And shalom to all my brothers and sisters on the comic board. All right? Shalom. All right?
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
What's the only group of people on the planet right now to this day that has no nation for themselves? The Chinese got China, Russians got Russia, Uzbekistan got Uzbekistan. You go to the smallest tribe of Ham, he got his own shit.
Yeah.
You go to the smallest tribe of any other place, they got their own shit.
All
The
them
niggas got the white man.
All them niggas in the stands got the stands.
Yeah, everybody got stand, everybody got something.
Right?
But we got the white man.
Kazakhstan,
The white man.
you know?
Hey, especially and don't think the Mexicans, the Israelites, because in Mexico the ones who ruling are Spaniard, which is Edomites.
All throughout South America.
Right,
Not
South-
just-
right.
You go down to Venezuela. You go to Uruguay.
Yeah.
You know, you
Panama.
go to Peru,
Mhm.
Panama, or wherever. When you go to the leaders of those countries, all right, those are typically Spaniards or some coon-like that they didn't put in there. All right, that's gonna rule in the favor of Edomites.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it's a whole lot of small hats throughout Spanish-speaking small hats throughout South America. And remember that the first slave ships, all right, the slave ships were issues, small hat slave ship owners,
Right.
and they all spoke Spanish. Okay, so remember, so it only makes it right that they would go and mix and mingle and hide themselves among the Israelites down in South America and ensure that their children be the ruling class.
That's right.
All right, what do you think pushed all that, lighting the people up?
That's it.
Better the nation you know, Mary White,
Right.
and all that bullshit.
And the head of Mexico now.
There's a
is-
quote
is-
for that, which I always forget. You know?
and it's that mestizo shit that I wish the Israel brothers were here. They'll tell you all about it. But even the so-called Mexican president right now, her father is a small hatter, but she's mixed a small hatter with Issacharite mama type of descent, and now she looking like an Issacharite is ruling Mexico, but she's not an Issacharite, so-called Mexican. She's actually she's Amalekite. She's a small hatter.
So you know she gonna do what, you know what I mean, in the interest of, you know.
Nah, you hold some, brother?
Yeah, I
You
got
still
two.
read some?
Yeah. I'm gonna finish the Psalm 83 that you called for.
Bible shot.
It says that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. And although people know the name Israel, it's really talking about Yasharallah.
Right.
That name is not known on
Yeah,
a
they
grand
don't know.
scale, just
Yeah.
like the name Yahweh or Yahweh Shai.
And a lot of people, well, now they do, but in the past, people didn't associate the name Israel with so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But now they do, even though they don't like to acknowledge it. But this is this is where we are. This is the beloved brother from Arrows of Indignation. This is Amos 9 and 11. And it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacles of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build up the as it is in the days of old. So in the days of old, the house of Judah, which was ruled, you know, of David, was putting their foot in the asses of all of the you know, of that wicked counsel that he just read about. All right, and it says Amos 9 and 12 that they may possess the remnant of Edom. Ooh.
Message.
And all of the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahweh that doeth this. So that's heathen that are calling themselves the Lord's chosen.
That's right, brother.
All right? They're not it. Okay? The Lord's chosen wouldn't be a ruling class. All right? And it says, Amos 9 and 13, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. See, we're the plowmen. And Matt Walsh and his people, they reap all of our plowing. They get the benefit of it. All right. It says that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine in all the hills. So basically, man, the Lord is about to put his foot sideways in you heathen, man, especially you Edomites.
Right.
All right. And the change is gonna come.
Yeah, we don't want your apology, man.
Brother,
We want your ass.
right. We don't want your exactly,
What
brother.
the fuck they gonna
We
do?
don't want your apology.
We want your
Matter of fact, we want you to talk shit
Right.
so we can bust you in your motherfucking mouth and knock all the teeth out your mouth.
Hey, that's
And then what I'm gonna do,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is because we don't have that powers, I'm gonna put your teeth back in your mouth so I can send you to another brother so he can knock the fucking teeth out
Hey,
of your
Elder
mouth.
Malcolm, that's
Right, and that shit gonna go. You gonna get passed around like a fucking piece of shit whore that ain't worth shit.
Message.
So you can go to every brother's plantation, cause you going to a plantation, Matt. All right, and you gonna go to every brother's plantation. You
Fun
gonna
house.
serve slavery. You got 1,000 years to be ran through the man.
By these
Yasharallah.
by these primitive gods.
We gonna find out. We gonna find out who the fuck got the truth, man. While you sit up there lying and trying to pretend like you something that you not, man. All right.
By the same set of primitive motherfuckers you call primitive. We're gonna show you how primitive your ass
No,
is.
cause this motherfucker that got me heated, man. He done made me mad, man.
Hey, the
You know,
scriptures say,
Salakia,
break
brother.
out the teeth of the young lion.
That's right, brother.
He gonna loot like Elder Malcolm said. Hey, so he called us primitive, right?
Right?
Right.
The ancient Maya. Now this AI talking again. Which I already knew this, so I knew to ask in the question. I said Mayans had best aqueduct, right?
Right.
He said the ancient Maya, particularly at sites like Palenuk, developed sophisticated water management systems, including aqueducts, showcasing their engineering skills and understanding of water pressure.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Primitive, right?
So the natives had aqueducts.
But that's where they get their
Look,
money from.
America, when it rains too hard,
Right.
the shit comes up on your streets.
Yep.
The
Yep.
shit backs up into your house, sewage,
Yep.
Dookie water.
dookie water.
And that was set up.
That's primitive.
And that was set up by Matt Walsh's people,
Right. They're
by
down
Elon
to
Musk's
say that.
people.
Right.
All right, yeah, your sewers and your streets back up, and the shit that falling from ass comes up into the streets, man.
You gotta smell it.
That's the so-called white man. All right, So who's really primitive, man? You murderous, lying, thieving people, man. That's what the
Well,
fuck
shit.
you are.
Well, shit. If it wasn't for Gad and Reuben, you would have just died off. Cause Gad and Reuben, yeah.
Even Esau admit that. They admit that when they first came over here, they was on their last motherfucking leg.
They were eating one another. They were the cannibals.
Yes.
They were the savages.
And Gad came
Eating
out.
dead bodies and shit.
Told
You
them
gonna
how
dig
to-
up graves of people that died so you can eat them
You know what I'm saying?
and cook them.
Right.
And then Gad will come up to say, no, don't do this. This is how you survive a winter. This is how you skip food.
Like
this
they-
is how you store your food.
they-
This is how you do
tweaking.
this. And this is how you do that. You don't know the love that the people of the Heavenly Father have. All right?
Yeah, because
That's
they
why
taught
I
most-
us.
got another quick point, right?
Go ahead, brother.
In medieval Europe, I also know the type right here. French dumped sewage out window, right? Because I already knew this. AI goes, in medieval Europe, a common method of waste disposal involved emptying chamber pots out of upstairs windows. This is Esau.
This is why they walked down the street with umbrellas and they wore high heels.
Right.
They wore high heels to keep their feet out of the shit that was on the ground because people threw their piss and shit out the fucking window.
Hey,
city
that's why they
probably
call
smells
the
terrible.
bathroom the loo. Because with people yelling, Gardez, loo, watch out for the water. They'll dump the shit out the window, Gardez, loo, as a warning.
So you gonna throw it and then say it. So niggas getting hit with piss and shit. No, fuck that, man. I'm kicking in your door, beating your ass, and right.
As a warning, which eventually became the word loo for toilets. All right? There you
That's
go,
loo.
man.
Whoosh,
That's Luke.
whoosh.
Sorry, that's loo. To warn pedestrians below.
And this is a white this is white basically
Yes.
white superiority at its greatest right here.
Right,
That's your white superiority right there. That's the truth in your white superiority right there.
But don't monkeys like to sling shit at each other?
Yeah, they do.
It was an Edomite. He actually did a video, and he broke down the history because he was like, you know how Esau likes to gloat in his colonization. He basically broke it down like it was basically plague and sickness that weakened the tribes that would wipe out the majority of the population.
Yeah.
Then Esau would come in and clean up.
Well,
Well, that's the chat GPT talked about that.
shit.
Yeah.
I gotta find it, man.
I'm trying to think of the nigga's name. The nigga from the
God.
past. John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo did a Netflix special talking about his heritage. He's Mexican, proud of it. He went into how 2/3 of Mexicans died off, like 2/3 of niggas in the Black Plague when Esau came over here.
Yep.
Same thing happened.
Lord,
This
I
ain't
know
over the
this.
Israelites.
Yep.
We went through the same thing. 2/3 of the natives died off when they came over to Mexico by plague.
Plagues, yep.
And that's how they was able to take them down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's another way. That's scripture.
Mm.
It says how. Hey, I gotta grab this Deuteronomy. Man,
Except they
They're-
broadcast
they
it.
rock solid.
Why you looking for? Can I read this? We want you got it? Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, no, I was waiting. I wasn't scoffing.
Okay,
I said you the elder. When you said can you read? I said you the elder. Shit, go
This is
ahead.
if you remember years ago when we were on Van Buren and Adams, the little Edomite chick approached and we was talking to her and everything, and I spoke about, and she brought up the book Gun Steals and Germs. If you know some of you brothers that were there, and basically it was by Jared Diamond, and it says the face of human societies, and basically the book is about how Esau Edom, a so-called white man, and this is a book that I've desired to have. It was a winner of the Pulitzer Prize, New York Times bestseller. All right, the scope of the explanatory power of the book are astounding. All right, but it was guns, germs, and steel, and on the cover of the book it shows you natives, it shows you Africans
Ooh,
being conquered by Edomites simply by their presence, because they showed up with germs. All right, Esau would come and sneeze on you. Matter of fact, it was even said in writings I've read it that there wasn't even a common cold in America.
Exactly.
So when they came over here, they brought the common cold with them. You know when you get a real bad cold, you sick as fuck, you dizzy, your fucking head is stopped up, either your nose is stopped up or your chest is stopped up, you snotting all over the place. Gad and Reuben was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
What the
We don't know what the
damn?
hell we're doing. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
nigga shook my hand.
Yeah.
Right, sneezed on me, and this nigga came.
I'm about to die.
He Damn, right.
They put that in that movie Ace Ventura when Jim Carrey went over there to Africa. I think it was the second one.
Yeah.
And they was like, before white man had no disease, and he sneezed, and he started fucking with him. They got scared, like they were gonna die. Man.
See?
Now,
So and then of course he brought guns. There were the Edomites. I remember watching a video about Edomites that landed Easter Island. All right, and that group of islands that's around Easter Island. And it was Japhet on those islands mainly. It was Japhites on that island. When they landed on that island, the first thing they did was start shooting the men with muskets. And then they raped the women, and they left the island, and they left these people full of herpes and gonorrhea.
That shit pissed me off.
That's what they did to the population. These people who are completely, not sick. Most of their men were killed off,
Exactly.
and then they left the women. Every woman that was the women that didn't hide. Any woman that got caught got raped, and then they left them a gift, and the gift went. Some of them got impregnated, but they still got herpes and syphilis,
Oh, man.
or gonorrhea.
That keeps on giving.
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
The brother from GMS Melbourne, Australia. He put
That's your history, Matt Walsh.
That's right.
That's your history, Elon Musk.
Can't wash that away.
The brother from GMS Melbourne, Australia, put in Khan. That's happened during the time of the Black Plague. BBC News reported that Edomites' bodily fluids is what caused the Black Plague in Europe when they came down from the caves.
That's what weakened us
Ooh.
during the Dark Ages.
God damn, we're gonna have to expound on that.
Exactly. And
We need
I
some
We have to do
receipts
some,
on that,
brother. You
man.
need to put some receipts up, put
Yeah,
some
yeah.
information about the shit, bro.
That BBC News article.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't come with stuff like that, then not give the information, bro.
You gotta cite it.
You gotta come
cite it.
on.
You gotta bring it. You put a if you can put a
link?
source. If you can, Australia, brother Melbourne, put a site, something so we can we'll build off of it through the spirit. Because first of all we know what Esau's been doing. Matter of fact, right now I had a couple articles. We don't even have to go into them because it's already known. But we always go into the receipts. America made all their billions and trillions off of free slave
That's
labor.
how they get, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They said every slave back then was worth about damn near $3 billion worth of fucking money, and that's in their time.
They bred
It goes
us
down
like
to
fucking
$83
dogs,
billion.
man.
It's like 83 billion per.
They took a
Yeah.
large muscular black male, all right, and they would collect them up,
Yeah.
all right, and they would do two things with them.
Yep.
They would make them do mandingo fighting, or they would put them
Buck breaking?
they will basically put them in breeding houses.
Got that too.
And they would, so you got a big tall or a muscular ass Jake, what they would do is when they would bring young girls to
Yeah.
be breeded by them.
So like sometimes they bring their own mother.
All right.
That's
That's where you get the term motherfucker from, because they would they would put something over their head so they never could see their face.
Yeah.
All right.
Esau a bitch.
They say, well, you can reproduce those genes.
Right.
Yeah, that shit wicked, man.
They had breeding.
That's primitive as fuck.
Some people they don't even know how
the
bad
fuck?
slavery was because they don't put it out there. They had, when they say breeding farms, it was an actual plantation that had no fruits, no vegetables. All it was
for breeding.
niggas to breeding
Other
niggas
slaves brought slave women there,
to breed niggas.
and they brought men there. It's
Yes.
just like you got guys who breed dogs.
Dogs, yes.
They breed pit bulls. They breed
Yes.
Rottweilers. They breed Doberman pinchers, or whatever the breed is.
They find a fine
they
specimen.
find a fine specimen.
and find
And they
another
bring,
fine
and
specimen.
then they bring them in, and right, it's like I got
Make
this
them.
male here, right, and he's young and full of seed, so they just keep bringing young girls to him, or even
sisters, mothers,
damsels,
aunties,
women that can still childbear. A woman was fit and muscular, all right, and they would use her,
yes.
all right, and they will bring her to some muscle bound dude, all right, and then they want a whole family of fucking Murphs.
Yes.
All right, and that's what, and they would do shit like that, man,
Yes.
to get those genetics.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
if you're really tall, like like Elder Karab over there, that's what they want. They would take, they would use certain things and to try to breed perfect slaves, and then it's because why? Because now that breeder, he make money off the other slave owners.
That's it.
And so they would have better slaves or more slaves to present on the market so that they can make money, man. And those places were closed on Jewish holidays.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where your eugenic science comes from.
Right.
So nowadays you got these places you can go pay top dollar,
Right.
or we can put. You want to go through a pamphlet. You want your child to be what? Well, we can use this sperm,
Right.
and you can and you have a better chance of getting this. Eugenics started with them fucking with us, man.
That's why they find that that Edomite sportcaster Jim the Greek, he let the cat out the bag and shit. When he said
That
that.
shit crazy.
God.
I got. Oh, you had something else, other? Was there more to that? I got that Deuteronomy 32 and 30. How shall one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock has sold them and the Lord has shut them up? All right. So in order, everybody knows that so-called Negroes, Native Americans, are superior to this devil.
Exactly.
So how do we fall? Because the Lord did it.
Exactly.
For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. The Lord put them over us. He weakened us. He gave them the power to win in a war.
Exactly.
Even if the Lord didn't weaken us, the Lord is in control of who wins the war. So he made them take us down. He gave Esau the knowledge of the Gatling
I was just
gun.
finna say that.
He
Yeah.
sprayed Reuben down because Reuben was on their ass. All right. Excellency of strength. They couldn't do nothing with him.
Yeah,
So they
he was
got the
fucking
Gatling
them
gun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It was just, it is what it is. But like your Malcolm said, there is a second part to manifest destiny. It's Isaiah 10. And I get straight to the point. Once I find that point.
Yeah, 'cause the point is, we gonna be like that dude in Spartacus shit. Now shall I begin?
Ooh.
All right.
Isaiah 10 and 12. Wherefore it should come to pass that when the Lord has performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart, proud, that pride again, of the king of Assyria and the glory of his high looks. And we know this ain't ancient Assyria because Assyria, when it became even Babylon, that became the capital, we went into what? We went into Media Persia, then Greece, then Rome. And also Assyria didn't get destroyed like it's mentioned here. This is modern Assyria, Mystery Babylon, which is America. So once the Lord was done punishing us by you putting your foot up our ass, so he's going to punish you, man. And that's what times we coming in. See, it's beautiful you said that. Everything you said, that's scripture. That's what's in the second chapter. Let us leave, our basically
Tokens.
our tokens thank the water. Yeah, I'm glad we did this. It's a great accomplishment. Of course, you're supposed to say that.
Let's see.
I'm glad you said that.
Matter of fact, brother,
Gonna make the beating better.
we're gonna actually get close with that. Go ahead, somebody go to Wisdom of Solomon 2, and we read down from like 1 to about 11 or 12,
Can I bring this up?
and whatever you got first, brother.
Because the brothers read the Jeremiah about the northern kingdom and southern kingdom being oppressed together. All right. And then you talk about Mystery Babylon, right? The lands of the north. So let's find out who these people are. This is Jeremiah 3 and 18. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north, which is what?
North America.
So obviously, these groups was oppressed together.
And you're not learning this from ISUPK.
Message.
You're not learning this from Israel United in Christianity.
Message.
All right? You're not learning this from Genesis.
Message.
What you learning is some rap lyrics from them. All right? Or how to wear a hat, cover your head, and offend the Lord while you're reading the scriptures.
Come.
That's what you're learning from guys like that.
It says, they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given unto them for inheritance unto their fathers. Right? Which is Babylon the Great, man. Which is the big mystery. We got oppressed here together. Therefore, the great deliverance is going to be here.
Right.
All right.
And North
Jeremiah
America,
16.
the land of the north, is the
Yeah,
one
Jeremiah
place.
16.
The land of the north, which is America, all right, Babylon, is the one place in the whole world where you're going to find the largest concentration of all 12 tribes.
And we all fucked
Point
up.
blank, period.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Because when you go off into these different lands, it's mostly that tribe, mostly this tribe, mostly that tribe. But here in America, we're all here. All right, which lets you know that we're a numerous multitude that cannot be counted. All right, and only and the 1/3, which is not just here in America, they're gonna get wherever they are on the earth, but the majority of them are going to be here in Babylon, man, and in the mystery Babylon, which is America. All right, hands down. All right, whoever got that wisdom of Solomon, go ahead and go into it.
You want me to start from the top or?
Yeah, start at verse 1 and read down to about 11.
This is
Did you
wisdom
send
of
it?
Solomon.
Yeah, no, it's in the bishop's room.
Yeah, but this phone, I don't
Okay.
have that. Send it
Okay,
straight
okay,
to this
I
phone.
got you. Sure, you know what? I'm gonna get it from there and I'm gonna send it to you.
This wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not right. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
No, that's why they so proud, because he doesn't realize that he is his forefathers. That this piece of shit, Matt Walsh.
It
That
proves
that
it,
you
what he
piece of
said.
shit. You are your piece of shit forefathers. Matt Walsh, read.
For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart. Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
Right, so that's why often them heathens and them Edomite heathens would burn their bodies in their ashes, and the smoke would rise up into the heavens, and they think they went to the heaven that way or whatever, wherever the fuck they went to. All right, but go ahead.
Verse 4. And our name shall be forgotten in time.
Right, they know they're temporary. That's why it says Esau has a short time. He know that they're only temporary. They got this rulership for only a certain amount of time.
It says, verse 4, and our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as a trace of a cloud.
Which that's going to happen according to Job. All right, go ahead.
It says, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning. For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the preach.
What they call it.
YOLO. Yeah.
Right, and that's why he's what? Fracking the earth, using up all the natural resources.
Yeah.
All right.
Indiscriminately. Well, this dude's the devil.
He's the son of perdition. Everything he touched, he destroys.
That's
He says his desire is like hell. He cannot have enough. So that's why when you read the POV or the point of view of the wicked in his Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, Esau is really psychotic. He's really testing the Lord. Why in the fuck would I? Let me just beat this nigga ass. Let me see if he's the son of a super god.
A supernatural.
Who thinks
Hold
that?
on. The son of the creator of everything.
That's pride.
Nigga, you lost your fucking mind.
That's the theory.
You're right.
Hypothesis, right?
Let's see if it's true. What? Why would you even try? Why would you even play with fire like that?
You're gonna be crowned king of fuck around and find out.
Right.
You're gonna keep fucking around, and you're about to find out, man.
And then said, is this he who we had in derision?
Derision? That's right.
Then you read the Wisdom of Solomon 5. This is
This the
surely,
same?
Right.
surely we didn't look for this. These are the sons of God. Them?
Right.
Yeah, nigga, you put it to the test.
You tried it. Yeah.
But that's prophecy. That's prophecy. Go
And
ahead.
it happened to many of your forefathers, all right? Just one I can think of, Antiochus. After you put great hell on us, you walked so pridefully in the earth, you found out that, hey, it's not good that man should magnify himself against the living God.
And that's the problem. That's a great point, because when Epiphanes got fucked up, he told his son to honor us. He wanted to play cool. Then you get back down to either his grandson or great grandson, whatever it was. They was back on the ass.
Right.
They forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever Esau to set up, they didn't put in the notes that, well, eventually,
Leave these niggas alone.
eventually God is gonna fuck you up.
Exactly.
They didn't put that in the notes. They knew this.
Exactly.
But like Antiochus, he felt that he made sure his son knew. They forgot to let them know.
It's like the dude from Judith. He said, now if they sin against their power.
But even in the Willie Lynch letter, he said that we can do this for 500 to 1,000 years, if not forever. And then he put in the one caveat, unless a phenomenon comes and stops it.
Something
That
like
phenomenon is Yahweh.
He never told
He didn't put the notes. He ain't telling what the phenomenon.
Something like a phenomenon.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious. You about to make me go pull up the quote.
Continue. Let me continue. This is Wisdom of Solomon.
Shit, this is a phenomenon. Us waking up. Hey, they never thought niggas would just like the apostle gave the account, the dude jumping out the limousine while they was out teaching. How did you find this out? We spent billions to hide this from you. Right. Right, you niggas, you low level niggas then figured it out. You know what I mean? What the fuck? You know? You stupid? You didn't think you didn't
Remember when the dude in the Bentley pulled over when we were teaching?
Gun.
Hopped out his Bentley.
Yeah, I
It
remember.
was, and he was like, "This is absolutely true."
Gun.
This man in a fucking Bentley, man, with a driver, with a young girl who wasn't his daughter. All right, he hopped out his Bentley, all right, to come out on the street and talk to us.
Yep.
All right, and we were on Van Buren.
Gun.
Yeah, and he was like, "This is absolutely true. This is the truth." All right, when the other kind, you can, and when that lady from France, when we were on Adams, rolled up and she said, "I learned this in grade school. I haven't seen it since I was in grade school."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. She saw the 12 tribe sign,
Yep.
and so for you scoffers out there, the 12 tribe sign is false, and that's all you got to say.
Right.
You're looking ass, stupid. All right. The Bible, the awakening of the Israelites come with a sign. Nobody produced it except us. All right, the Christians didn't produce it.
Can't.
Shikari didn't produce it.
Message.
All right, no, you know, ISUPK. They look, the sign, or should I say, the Israelites are the ones who produced the damn sign, man. The Christianity didn't produce it.
Message.
The Jewish people, Judaism didn't produce it.
Nation Islam.
That's a part
Message.
of the awakening of the end day prophecy. Somebody would come on earth and produce the 12 signs. So for you people who speak against it,
Right.
all right,
They speak against prophecy.
you speaking against prophecy. It was prophesied that somebody would come and say, "This is the 12 sign," and the people would ask, "What are these? What is this all about?"
And those people that come with the sign will be revealing who the wicked is at the
Exactly,
same
right.
time.
Yep.
So there it is, man.
Beware the beast, man. They knew. You know what I'm saying?
Violent man.
Okay, now this goes. Now he called us primitive, right? He called us uncivilized. Well, this is the same rhetoric that his forefathers spoke, right? This is out of the Willie Lynch letters. It says, and this is on page 20, and this is out of the heading of the breaking process of the African woman, all right? Because that's how they got us, is through the women, right? But it says, this is the mindset. He said, continually, through the breaking of uncivilized, so-called primitive, savage niggers, by throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independency, by killing the protective male image, and by creating a submissive, dependent mind of the nigger male slave, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever, unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the positions of the male and female savages. So Esau Edom said, we can do this forever unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the positions of the male
One of the
and female
big LL
savages.
Yep.
hit something like phenomenon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the phenomenon has came.
That's it.
All right. The Israelites have awakened.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
And now they're scared. Now they're greatly
Oh, shit,
afraid.
she like it. Smell like something from behind. That's what I said.
Huh. Is there more to that, brother? Keep reading while he's looking up there.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 7. Continuing, it says, "Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us." This is again continuing that ungodly reasoning.
Hey, they stock markets. They greedy. Because that's what the oil and wine goes into. Shit. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
The whole Revelations 18. You know what they sitting on. Go ahead.
Verse 8, "Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this."
And that's why you see everywhere you go a statue of this, a statue
It's
of
like the Psalm 64.
yeah. You know they leave all these relics and tokens from all these heathens in all these places, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice.
And that's what we get to, because that's what that proud piece of shit, Matt Walsh, was saying. He would not apologize because they let their strength be the law of justice, not righteousness, not fairness, not truth, but our strength. All right? So they use their germs, their steel,
And
all right,
guns.
and their guns to conquer a people who was very peaceable, and we're not savages at all.
It's
And,
like-
and we were sitting on gold and silver,
Just like
and
Columbus
land and
said.
all, and right, and said, man, these people are ripe for the picking.
Yeah, so we just need 50 men with swords and we can go subjugate them all.
Yeah. But by that time, they had already been weakened. You know, it's the same thing with the Southern Kingdom, the Black Plague that wiped out 2/3 of us in Europe.
Right.
All right, and another plague wiped out the Northern Kingdom over here, and then Esau came in with the cleanup crew. All right, so you didn't get America. It was the blessing of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got America. You didn't get America by valor
By your own
and
power.
might.
Yeah.
You didn't do that, man.
It wasn't honorable.
It wasn't honorable.
No.
I say something. And he had to prove.
But they try to make it honorable so badly, like
So bad.
that fraudulent speech that he gave.
Yeah.
All right, matter of fact, can we play that?
Yeah, we never-
Matter of fact, you know what?
We never got into
Because Benji asked about it because we were just so mad.
We talked about it too. but
You know,
we was very-
we'll do that and then we'll wrap. But we need to let the audience hear how proud this piece of shit Edomite was. You know,
Like I said, well, they
where,
did.
where's it at? I gotta pull
Don't
it
tell
up.
me Esau had to recruit Israelites to bring down the Israelites.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is true.
Yep.
That's how he beat Gat. He used Judah. He used a buffalo soldier to a weakened
Is our
yeah.
civilization one that we should be proud of, even in spite of its history of conquest? No. Not in spite of that history. I'm proud of it in large part because of that history. It is one of the great triumphs of all time that our forefathers had to first conquer an ocean in order to then land on a giant mass of uncharted wilderness filled with untold dangers and wild beasts and, yes, primitive warring tribes, many of whom practiced human sacrifice and cannibalism, and who, if they captured you, would torture you for fun and rape your wife and children before killing you, maybe eating your internal organs and taking your family as their property. And yet, in the face of those unimaginable horrors, our forefathers and ancestors conquered this entire hemisphere and settled it and single-handedly dragged it out of the Stone Age and built from the wilderness the greatest civilization the world had ever known. Am I proud of that? Yes, I am.
Okay, you can stop right there. That was enough.
I'm ready to
So
pull it right now.
that was total protection. That if they captured you, they ate your internal organs, pulled them out of the dark ages, and so just and we all the history and all the evidence we just gave you, he just whitewashed the shit out of it to justify the murderous rampage that was done unethically by his people.
This nigga killed all buffalo just to kill
right.
it, just to kill
But
it.
hey, like he just said,
Just
it was a
fucking-
triumph. So you raped, robbed, killed a nation of people for their land. Then how did you make the nation good? You put Judah and the other tribes into slavery and made this country rich. They proud of it. He flat out said it. He's the Edomite. That's what he's supposed to say, man.
Yep. So real quick,
But all the hard, the native tribes eating and doing all this terrible shit. Esau does the same thing: rape, rob, murder, and you eat fucking people.
Yep.
right? So,
So what's-
can I get Colossians 3:25, Galatians 6 and 7, and then Revelation 18 and 6? Bible for sure.
Can somebody get those real quick? I got something on deck. This is Deuteronomy 19:14. Thou shalt not remove the neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy power giveth thee to possess it. The Most High said, you don't have a right to come say, oh, I stumbled across this primitive society. Oh, I just happened to see some land over here with some peoples here. The Lord said, remove not the landmark. Soon as you go there and you put your shit up, you now have to fight the Lord. And the Most High is coming for you.
Who got the Colossians?
I got Colossians chapter 3, verse 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he has done.
Perfect.
And there
Message.
is no respect of persons. Esau, so it's good that you're boasting. The scriptures say you would speak loftily concerning oppression.
Facts.
So you're supposed to do these things because, like the saint said, that make the ass whooping most sweeter, boy.
And what you say? No respect to person.
No
So
respect.
I don't
for
care
person.
who you are, man.
That's right.
Well,
Antioch.
Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So simply put, he that go into captivity must go into captivity.
That's
He
right.
that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. We're gonna get our revenge, man, and you're gonna get double.
That's right.
Ooh.
Go ahead,
Revelation
Lord allowed you to
18
do all
and
this
6.
thing. No, Lord allowed you to do all this just because Lord can't bring judgment on you for no reason. He allowed you to do all this shit.
Stack your shit up.
Stack your shit up.
The
So you can't earn that double.
You gotta earn that judgment. That's just like the scriptures talk about how the iniquity of the Amorites wasn't fulfilled yet.
Exactly.
So the judgment, so the Lord waited. It took 400 years for them niggas to deserve that motherfucking punishment that He wanted to put on them. So it's taking all this time for you to. The Lord is allowing you to do this so you can get to that motherfucking point to deserve that erratic, that 1,000 years of hardcore foot up your ass, and at the end of it all, eradication, nigga. You gotta deserve that double.
So how you got the Revelation 18?
Revelations 18 and 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you.
Message.
And double unto her double according to her works.
So you hear that, Matt?
Double.
You're gonna get double of what you did.
That's right.
All right, double. There's no way. So we did Colossians. Did we?
Yeah, we read the Colossians, I read the Galatians. He got the
So
Revelation.
yeah.
So
So
finish this last
Bible
part.
shot.
It says, in the cup, because that's the important part.
Yeah.
In the cup which she had filled to her double.
okay, so good. One last one. Revelation 13, 9 and 10.
Yeah, it was Revelations 13.
That's the end book chapter. Which is what happens in the end. All right. So
Sorry.
since you're so proud of slavery and colonization,
Keep that
all right,
same energy.
keep that
Right,
energy,
that
homie.
same energy.
Yeah, we're gonna be proud of doing it back to your ass. Double.
Times 2. Minus the gay shit.
Right.
Yeah, right. Minus the
We're
gay
gonna find
shit.
something
Because
comfortable.
we didn't even speak on that. All the mo things you did. But go ahead.
Right.
Right. Revelations 13 and 9. If any man have a ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patient in faith of the saints.
So the saints of the Lord are suffering. That's what patient means. They're patiently suffering, waiting to enslave and put to the sword Matt Walsh and his family and his children, his family, his people. All right, for what they did to our people. Thus saith the Bible, not me.
That's right.
Once again, thus saith the Bible, not me. One last one. Isaiah 21.
Oh,
Bible Kushai. You already know what I want. Prepare slaughter.
iniquity 14 to 21. My boy. This is Isaiah 14th chapter.
This is the punishment to colonizers who enjoy manifest destiny. This is part 2. All right? This is part 2 to manifest destiny right here.
That was cool.
Message.
This is Isaiah 14 and 21.
Right.
Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their father.
Can
His
we get it in the
forefathers?
NLT as well?
I got you right here.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
Kill this man's children.
Kill.
Damn.
Kill.
Say it
Kill.
again.
So like it.
And this is out of the Holy Bible, right?
Which version of Bible that is?
That's what it says in my book.
What version of
What
Bible?
trick Bible is that you got?
Hey, remember, Benji, this is what it says in my book. Isaiah 14:21. Kill this man's children. Let them die because of their father's sins. They must not rise and conquer the earth, filling the world with their cities.
Ain't gonna be no more Edom having their own land. Every other nation after the 1,000 years of slavery, you get your land back. We still gonna rule over you, but you can go to your own land. Esau, you don't get a land.
That's right.
All right, you're gonna die. All your bloodline's gonna be eradicated.
That's
It
right.
says give you double. What did you try to do? Commit genocide against us. So what's gonna happen to you? An actual genocide.
That's right.
It will turn upon your own head.
No
Ain't
Genesis.
gonna be no crumbs. Ain't gonna be no token fucking Edomite either, man.
No.
Marty.
They said fire away as a dream of the night.
That's right. GMS Melbourne, Australia put the AMP version of that Isaiah 14:21. Prepare a slaughtering place for his sons because of the wickedness, the sin, the injustice, the wrongdoing of
Dang.
their fathers. They must not rise and take possession of the earth and fill the face of the world with cities. And I don't care what version you look at it, the Lord is saying, destroy you wicked people. Right? I don't care if it's the AMP, the NLT, the NIV, the KJV, the KK, New Din Valley, I don't give a fuck. The Lord is coming back for judgment. All right?
Yeah. So it's over for you. You know, Matt Walsh. Enjoy your last moments, man.
That's it.
All right, and look, enjoy your gloating and your pride, and maybe your buddy, Assistant President Musk, will allow you to run to his shelter with him. All right, so that you know, because the Bible promises that that the wealthy elites will be the first fruits of slavery. Thus saith the Bible.
That's right.
Because you're gonna get pulled out of the clefts in the rocks and the holes in the ground, which is talking about your luxury bunkers. All right, so when you dug into the sides of the earth and under sea and all that shit. All right, so you're gonna get pulled out of that. All right, and you're gonna be the first fruits of slavery, man. So Lord's will, I will see you in slavery. Paul Halal, Yahweh Bashan Rashad, Bashan Bakakadash, Bam Yasharala,
Bam Yasharala.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Shalom.